In the end, I'll show you the communities, but initially we'll have a look at the OmniScripts and all. So OmniScript is the tool which is used to create the wizards, right? So, but not only wizards, we can also create um, a card kind of like we created to display the temperature of different cities, right? So I don't know how many people automated it using users city, but based on some information, we can also display the information. But OmniScripts are mainly used for taking the inputs, like a wizard, right? So to create a new OmniScript, language, type, and subtype makes the OmniScript unique, right? And these are the required. So let's say test OS. Then we need to enable LWC. Uh, Click on this checkbox. Then only we will see the LWC preview, or else we will see only the preview. We don't see LWC preview. Okay. And this is LWC designer. So we can go with this designer. So here are the elements that we can drag drop. See, these are the actions. These are some display. These are some functions. Inputs are here, right? If you have to drag drop the text, you can drag drop from here. And under properties, you can change the properties. So why I didn't go through this designer, because still lot of documentation is there only with classic designer. So that's why you people can learn this, and just getting into another UI is not so difficult, right? So features will be same. The only thing is like the options will be here and there. So here the elements are here, components, available components are here on the left, there on the right. That's the difference. And the properties is always visible. Their property is visible only when we select the element. This is called structure and these are called elements, right? So initially these are the components or elements that can take users inputs like text, then email, then telephone, etc. Right? We have radio here. We have range. Range will give a slider kind of, slide kind of, 0 to 100. If we give 0 to 100, we'll see 0 to 100 slide. Step 1, minimum value is let's say 1 and maximum value is 100. We'll see a bar where we can select, we can slide and select, we can move and select like the 0 to 100. So we can also change the steps, 1 or 5. If I change it to 5, 5 steps. As I started from 1, I see 6, 12 like that. So I should start from 0 to have 5, 10. Yeah. Anyways, so these are some inputs. You people try drag and drop everything and you will understand everything. We also tried custom LWC. We can have custom LWC build and just drag drop it. But to try this various LWCs provided by Velocity, we used custom LWC for product selection, for sensors and all. Then we have date time, we have disclosure, we have signature, So we have different input types. You people can give a try. Then we have groups. In these groups we have step. We use a step. Then we have seen block. Then in edit block. So we can also have radio group. We also see in this type head block. Others it's fine. You can give a try. But those are most commonly used and important. Then we also see in this formula and messaging, right? Formula will calculate something and show us the result. So formulas will also have some functions. So the functions that we have in the OmniScript are very less when compared to functions we have in data wrapper formulas. So functions in data wrapper formulas we shared with you. So but OmniScript functions are very less, and you can see by selecting the function you can see a short description about it. So we have tried it, and messaging also we have tried. So we can stop user to click next even using this messaging by selecting the requirement in the false. Or generally these messages are used to show the warning message or success message. Okay. Then in the display we use text block where we can display the static text. So we can also merge fields from the OmniScript data in the text block to show some information. So we have used it to display the agent's information, right? And line break will give a break, headline will give a headline, we'll add a headline. And using actions and actions are the actions that we can use. So in these actions we have seen data after extract, data after post, and data after transform in your in the flow. I hope you people tried it. And we have something called data after turbo action. So turbo action is also similar to extract, but where turbo action can take multiple inputs of single same type. Like if I'm passing account IDs, list of account IDs, I can use turbo action, right? So delete action is used to delete. For delete action also we can pass IDs, specific IDs, and that those IDs are used to delete. Only IDs are enough. So those IDs should be in the form of, let me open a text. So if we have to pass IDs for both delete action or turbo action, it should be like this: IDs, then it should be an array, then something like this: ID1 comma ID2, ID3, ID4, without any duplicates. So this should be the format. Here we will add the record IDs, right? Record if four four contact IDs. Okay. So once we pass this delete action, will take care of deletion. If we pass the same to turbo action, it will execute and get the data from the multiple records. So data after extract action cannot be used like turbo. It can take only one input. Okay. In operator is not there in extract action, only in turbo action. So that you remember. But you will get multiple records if we are passing the ID within the extract action, then we'll get data from multiple accounts. Something like first we are extracting accounts and passing the account IDs to the contacts immediately, then yeah, it will work. But exclusively if we want to pass multiple IDs to the extract action, it won't work. Then these are some um, DocuGen actions. So then done action is to have a done functionality in the end. Then email action is to send the email. This is again most important integration procedure. We generally won't have data wrappers directly on OmniScripts. We will always use integration procedure, which will improve the performance because integration procedure will execute on server side. Then matrix and the calculations are for calculations. There is something called calculation matrix. We can call that matrix. Navigation action is used to navigate. We can navigate to an S object. We can navigate to a website. We can navigate to other OmniScript using this navigate action. Okay. So PDF action will generate the PDF. Post to object action will post to object. So remote action is to call the apex. HTTP action is to make the call out to the external system. We tried it. So review action is to review. I never used it. So yes, anyone, any question?
Ibala, sorry to interrupt. Can you just explain how to use a remote service in remote action, microservice in remote action?
Okay. Yeah. So yeah, let me complete this walkthrough. Then in the end, we will discuss about it. So and then set error, set values. Set errors will set error. We can use the set error for error handling and all. So set values is to set the values, right? So to assign values to a specific node. Something like I want account ID, but I got the account ID in another node or bigger tree, so I can just convert that into an account ID using set values. And we can also write formulas in set values. We can use functions which are available in this formulas. We can use the same formulas in the set values. So and remember, in the script configuration we'll have a lot of settings. In this we can hide the steps using this hide chart. We can also display the chart, I mean the steps on the left or top also apart from the right. We can enable cancel by using this cancel options. We can set the save for later options from this, but there is some configuration here to be done. Then we can have error messaging. We can also communicate with other um, LWC components and all using this pub/sub and all. So it's also possible. Apart from that, on step level also we have save options, arrow save for later, and also we have buttons, next, previous and all. We can just rename these or hide these by just making them 0. We can change the label of the save for later. We can change, sometimes customers ask for exit instead of cancel. We can change the labels. As Venu mentioned yesterday, we can't conditionally show these buttons, either to hide or to show. That's all. We can't give a condition and show previous or next. So if we have to do that, then we have to use custom LWC to do it. We should customize, then conditionally we can we can show, but we can use only custom LWC to do it. Okay, so yeah, I didn't discuss this, but in case if you have to override with the LWC, so we can develop and we can just refer it here. You will see a lot of LWCs provided by Velocity. Yeah, don't worry about it now. We can also conditionally render any element, not only the step, any element. So we can add a condition. Based on the condition, we can show the step. So we tried it for employees, I guess, right? If employees are 0, we are navigating the user to a different step. So if employee or more than 0 or more than 1, then we are rendering the next steps. So you can use conditional rendering for those. So now let me go to data raptors. Then also we'll discuss about integration procedure. So data raptors are 4 types, right? Extract, post or load, turbo, and transform. So I open data raptor bundle. Okay. So these names are changed now. So there are 4 types: extract, turbo extract. So you remember the extract, right? Initially in the extract step, we'll select the object. So when we select the object in the operator, we don't have in, we see like or includes, right? Like is like it will compare the whole string, but include will can be used only with multi-select pick list. So we can have multiple data and we can use includes to check. So if we use turbo select, we can use in, right? In is available only with turbo. Okay, and we can pass multiple IDs here to get the data, but main thing is there won't be any mapping. So this won't be available in turbo. Let me, so this is the bug. When I edit and change the turbo, I see output. Generally in turbo we don't see output. So in turbo we'll have extract, options, and preview, only 3. So I can select an object, ID, in, ACC, IDs. Then I can get direct data from both account as well as the parent. Account dot parent is the parent account, right? So I can select and I can get. But remember, the output nodes will be always the API names. So I can't get the data in the required format. I'll get the data only in the API names format, right? So let me get ID also. Remember this, this is a thumb rule. Whenever you, okay, ID is already added. Whenever you get data, always get ID. If you use it or not, always get ID, right? Again, if you need ID to update that record, you need to go back to extract and just add it. So instead of that, always add ID. So here I can use this format. Let me get couple of account IDs. Oh my god. Wow, someone tried. So if you see red, that means there is some syntax error. I think I know it. Is error like right? Previously, these double quotes I have given in this text editor, right? That is not correct. Double quotes. Okay, I'll take your ABC for. So I pass two IDs. When I click on extract, I'll get. I didn't get. Account details. Any error? No valid data returned. So because ID in ACC IDs it didn't work. Okay, I'll look into this, but this is what the format that we should pass. We are in the same arc, right? We are in the same arc. So this ACC IDs data will be passed into this extract and it should look, but this is unable to read that. Maybe I did something wrong in this input format. You people can give a try and solve it. I will post the correct format in the WhatsApp group. So you people can give a try, but I will get the data of multiple accounts. I can use in operator only in turbo extract, right? So I use this so many times and it works. But here I don't see it's working. I'm not sure why. So let me see whether this is the only issue. Issue will be only here. This input parameters. I'll see and I'll let you know. Okay. So apart from this, We have seen how to map data, and we have also seen how to give the exact output. And we also will not have formulas in this turbo extract. So, and we have also seen formulas in data raptors, how to use formulas, and we have also discussed about some functions. So in the functions, the most important are filter, exists, not exists, if. We also tried if. Both in extract and post, we will have this formulas. Not only in extract post, in transform also we'll have these formulas. If we type something, we'll see those. We'll see the functions, maybe suggestions below. And remember, list size will give an error, right? List size will return number of records, but when it is zero, if you have to compare with zero, it will never return zero. That's why in the documentation it's mentioned like instead of using list size to compare as to compare with zero, always use is blank or is not blank. That is what listed in the documentation. So is blank will check whether the node specific node is blank or not. Then we can return true or false based on it, right? So this is the path. This is the node that we can add to the output, and output can add from the JSON extract JSON path. In the extract JSON path, we can specify this path, and we can specify the output path whatever we want to convert. Okay. So I always suggest you to go with quick match. I always do that. So we can add the expected JSON and just click on output path. The output mapping will automatically come. Input mapping the is the mapping that we can also add input. This is expected, which is output. Then we can also give input, right? This is the current. This is the extraction from the S object, and here we can give input mapping, input JSON. So coming to integration procedure, will have type and subtype, no language. So type and subtype will make an IP unique. So we need to save it. So remember one thing, OS can have versions, IPs can have versions, data wrappers will not have versions. So we will generally create manually, like we'll create a new version or maybe clone and give like v2 v3 something like that. We'll maintain our own versions, but IP can have versions. We can create a new version and activate a specific version. So IP is exclusively to calculate, right? So to do some actions, only to do some actions, we won't take inputs from the user, or we won't give outputs to the user. These IPs can work with any tools like cards, omniscripts and all, which will take input from them and give the input back to them, request and response. So we have batch action, which can execute in batches. So this calculation is again for calculations, calculation procedure and calculation matrix for this matrix action. Charter action is to post to charter, extract, post, turbo, transform. These are the data wrapped actions. Delete action is also here. DocuSign envelope action is also here. Email action is also here. Email action can send an email. Integration procedure, we can call in another integration procedure here. So intelligent action is for intelligence. So I didn't use it. So it adds some intelligence. It will do some intelligent things and all. I think maybe tomorrow for 10 minutes, Dinesh can explain about this. He tried this. List action will can be used to merge lists, merge multiple lists. Um, yeah, we didn't use it, but we can merge multiple lists. Then remote action is to call an Apex or microservices. The response action is to send the response back to the OmniScript or whatever, wherever we are referring to, that we can send a response. We can trim the response or we can send the whole response. HTTP action is to make a call out to the external system. Set values again is to set the values. We have four formulas in the set values. Cache block will have the cache. Conditional block will execute conditionally. So any action conditionally we can execute by adding this conditional block. We can write a conditional formula and we can add. For example, we can check whether the list of records are more than 10,000, 20,000. Execute in a batch, right? So this is the batch. Or we can also, if we have some charter action, we can also have execution condition here. Conditionally we can execute this charter action. We can also write conditions here. So this condition should be similar to the formulas, whatever we write in the formula. This is not similar to criteria. So in OmniScript we have that conditional rendering. So here it's different. We can add the condition. So we can use if or something. So again, this is another bug. I'm unable to type anything. So there will be a lot of bugs. So we can't do anything. These are product limitations. So let me refresh. So now I can add some condition. So we can use the functions um, from the formula, and we can, for example, is not blank. So and so node. Account column name. So if this account column name is not blank, then only execute this batch action. We can write something like that, right? So we can write conditional execution. So we can also have try catch black block similar to Apex. In Apex we can use this try catch block. Similarly, we can use try catch. Not only in Apex, any programming language we can use try catch, right? We can try and check for the error in the catch. We can catch an error exception. So we can use the similar thing here. So this is what the actions in IP about. So as Prasad asked about remote, calling a microservices using remote. It's a very good question. So you'll have you used remote action or remote service to save the code, right? Create update flow. I'll show you something else. Get code details. So get code details microservice will get the code information based on the id we passed. ins code service get code details. So indirectly, this is the class, this is the method inside the class. Okay, ins code service will be a class and get code details will be the method in that class. So in the step one, or maybe before the step one, I'm adding this remote action. You can do it in IP also. Okay, let me do it in IP. I don't want this. I don't want this. So I'm adding response action and then I'm adding this remote action. So let me go to documentation. So this is the class name. Remote action is used to call the Apex class and the methods and a specific method inside that class. So here is the class. That's what they mentioned in the documentation, and this is the method. So any method, it needs inputs, right? So we generally call them as arguments, right? We'll pass the arguments into a method, then we'll get the return. We'll get something written back to us, right? So when you learn Apex, you'll understand this. But in any programming language, so we can pass certain parameters or some data as inputs to that method, and we'll get something. We can return something from that method, right? So to send, we have to add these remote options. So using remote options, see, for generally for code getting code details, I need code ID, right? So I have to pass code ID. If I pass code ID, then only the service will return me the details. But what exactly we should pass here? Whether this code ID, this format is same that we can find only with the documentation. So take a code ID and find the code, right? So it can give a lot of details. So these are the remote options that we can add. Yeah, code ID is the correct format. So yeah, I always believe in copy paste. I told you, right? These are all these are all optional. So display child products, display attribute categories. There are lot of things under products. So we can use this. We can use all these optional to get more details, right? So let's say disable child products. So this will show under child products in output JSON. This is optional, but what should be passed? So you'll see it here. Oh, this is the output. This is the output what we'll get. No, no, this is the input. So where is that remote options? So this is also an output actually. This is an output for insurance. Okay. So this is output for insurance. This is output for health. Okay. So yeah, I didn't remember what exactly I should pass through this disable child products. Maybe it's a true or false. But if it is true or false, they'll mention. So they, I mean, this is an optional. We can just pass this to get the child products. Okay, let me go back. For now, this code ID is good enough. So let me have a set value. SV set quote ID. Let me go and get a quote ID. So I should pass this quote ID to this remote action. So I will select this. In this remote options, I will pass this whole path of the quote ID. Array get quote details. Response, I'm returning full response. Then when I preview, so I got the whole code details. This is the output that is provided by the service, right? It returned all the child products, all the specs, everything. So don't worry about this whole JSON for now. But see, here is the code ID. Here is the code ID. These are the code details, right? These are the details inside the code. So we'll use service because manually, if we are creating a data after post action or extract action, this is extract action to get all this data. Imagine how many output nodes you have to create, right? So you have to create at least 200, 300 nodes manually. So instead of that, using the service, we can get all the required data in the mentioned format so that I can use this data for anything. I can trim if I don't want all these child products, etc. and all. I can just go to for this. This is how I can do child products. These are the attributes. If we want to trim, we can trim, right? If we don't want this product configuration details, if we want only the code details, we can just get these code details from here, this and all. So we can trim and we can see the required data. But services are used to get whole data instead of building something from the scratch. So if you see this INS code service, these are all various microservices under it. So price route item, update code plans, update code plans, get plan specs, get code versions, remove coverages, get code details. We just checked it. Create update code. You people are trying this in our code process. Then methods. So let's see what are the methods here. So these are the various services, microservices under INS code service. Right? We have tried two, but if you see, for example, you want to clone the code, you can use this clone the code, right? The input is code ID. It will take the code ID and it will clone by creating a new unique ID as well as code number. Okay. Creates a clone of code, including coverages, everything in the code will be cloned. right? This is the output. It will give return the latest. This is not the quote ID, but this is the ID of the cloned one. Okay. So they are also providing how to create, how to use this in some steps. So Prasad, is this good? Not only Prasad.
Yeah, Bala.
Yeah. So any questions on this using microservices?
Not as of now. So I'll check on that and get back to you.
Okay, sure. Any questions from anyone else? Okay, if no more questions, we are good. So we can conclude this. Tomorrow we'll discuss about the certifications. Okay, Ramesh is not on the call. He already dropped. So tomorrow, when we join, I need to hear that you all completed the use case. Any other questions or anything anybody want to talk about? Can someone break the silence? At least by telling no questions.
No questions for now.
Again, you okay? Yeah. Okay. Anyways, yeah. We'll meet again tomorrow. Bye for now. See you all. Have a nice day.
It's been 4 p.m., right?